Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
What's going on, everyone out there? For you guys, we've had show after show after show. For us, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's a couple weeks.
It's been a couple weeks because we recorded like three in one day. I hope everyone listened to the marathon that was Favorite Things of 2025. That was like 2.5 hours. Or watched it.
Hopefully they watched it.
All 5 Joes were here. So that was a long one, but there was a lot of good stuff coming out.
Good show. And last year was a good year, so there's a lot of cool stuff to recap.
Last year was a good year for nerdy things. The rest of the world is a disaster. But
the rest of it's a dumpster fire. But
and 2026 only promises to be worse. So, but
yeah, so far so good on that one.
Yeah, we got all kinds of good stuff coming for our nerdy things, movies and TV and all the stuff we were looking forward to. So we did say what we were looking forward to. I'm still looking forward to the Project Hail Mary. It's getting close. It's like
it's getting close.
2 months.
Yep.
Even. Exciting. So we'll see. But today, speaking of new stuff, we're going to talk about Starfleet Academy, which premiered 2 episodes, I guess, last week. So
yeah, as we record this, there's only 2 episodes available.
Yeah, there will be spoilers, so just be prepared. But I feel like collectively we were, I don't want to use the word dreading, but we were definitely apprehensive about this show. So we'll see.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what you guys thought, so we'll get into that in a little bit. But
yes.
I'm caught up. I know I was the last one to watch it, but I'm caught up. So.
No, I just watched the second one half an hour ago.
Oh, okay. So really? Actually, you're behind me.
Yeah, I was busy. Todd, this isn't an opportunity to talk about this. We'll talk about it next time. I was finishing Pluribus over the past couple of days.
Oh, okay.
I liked it, but we'll talk about it.
Okay,
at some point.
Good.
Yeah, we'll have a whole separate discussion on that.
Yeah.
It's
definitely discussion worthy. And boy, has that gotten some attention.
Yeah, well, she won. Yeah, she did a really good job. She won the Golden Globe, deservedly so. But there was a lot of good people in that category.
A lot of Emmy stuff too. So
yeah, so we'll see. But let's go some random. Todd, what do you got?
So congratulations to Zoe Saldana, who's just knocked Scarlett Johansson out as being the highest grossing movie actor based on her films' total grossing. Not what she's getting paid, but what her films are grossing, which is it's a
weird calculation.
Does Avatar count? Because does anyone? I can't believe Avatar's made $1 billion.
So here's the thing.
How is
if you
that possible?
look at the top 10, okay, there are 2 people in the top 10 who have not been in a Marvel film.
Yeah.
Who are the 2 people?
I didn't see the list.
2 people that are not in a Marvel film.
2 people are not in a Marvel film.
Tom Cruise?
Dave. Okay, I was going to say Dave should get 1.
I didn't see the list. Tom Cruise. Is he? I mean, as much as he is great, his movies don't tend to make.
He's number 6.
Ton of money.
He's number 6, and in at 10, sneaking in at 10, is Dwayne Johnson. So,
okay,
I think that's making it up in volume right there, because he's all the Fast and Furious movies. And
he hasn't in all of them.
He's been in those Moana movies.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
those Jumanjis, which were good.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. But it's fascinating that when you think about it, the 8 of the top 10 slots are dominated by Marvel films, and it's volume. It's just.
But when you think about most of those Marvel films are such big ensemble movies that just because you're in maybe 10 minutes of screen time of a 2.5 hour movie doesn't necessarily make it your movie.
Yeah,
no, it doesn't.
That should be calculated as
it's the same way
you're driving it.
Samuel L. Jackson is number 3.
Right.
Okay, but he's got a much longer career of making movies. So but then
Plus, he's
throw
been
the
in Marvel and
movies-
Star Wars, so
that's what I'm saying. You throw the Marvel movies in there, and that's crazy. But anyway,
It's a dumb calculation.
it is a dumb calculation, but still, congratulations to her.
She's good in Lioness. I hope
she's
that
in
comes
the same
back
category as John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart and Spencer Tracy, all those historic people who've held that title for at least Burt Reynolds for
Burt Reynolds,
at least
sure.
a brief period of time, and Harrison Ford. So,
Right.
in the at one point. So, anyways, yeah.
Interesting. Barry, what do you got?
I don't know if you heard this earlier, but I just heard this yesterday. J.J. Abrams announced a movie that's coming out November 13th of this year that nobody up to this point even knew about. It's
Very secretive. They
Yeah,
had mentioned it, but
it's
not
shot,
just.
filmed, it's ready to go. Apparently, it's got Glenn Powell and Jenna Ortega and Samuel L. Jackson, and it's called The Great Beyond, and it's a sci-fi movie.
Really?
It's
Glenn
the first thing he's
Powell.
directed since The Rise of Skywalker, so it's been a while.
Glenn
since
Powell
he
will be
directed.
on that list soon. As soon as they get him in Marvel, because that dude's like in everything.
He
Yeah.
really is. He really
Did
is.
anyone see The Running Man?
No.
I
It's
haven't
on
seen it.
streaming. I
I do
want
want to see it, even though I did not hear great things about it. I'd still
watch
watch it.
But that's interesting. I'm glad JJ's directing other stuff or something, because I don't know that he's directed a bad movie. Has he? Well, let's not get into the Star Wars discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed the things he's been involved in
Yes.
for the most part. So I'm glad to see he's directing, and it's nice to not have had 3 years of hearing about something waiting
Yeah.
for it to come out. Like
That's true. It's nice
they
to have
just
like, oh,
dropped
here
this
it is.
bomb
It's
and
coming.
it's coming out this November, and nobody even knew it existed. So that's
I
cool.
think they're finally getting around to figuring out that really turns people off. and yeah.
The last time he did this was with Cloverfield. Remember when Cloverfield
Yeah.
just
Oh,
came
yeah.
out of nowhere?
Came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doomsday is the complete opposite of that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but it's also Doomsday is the complete opposite of that. But they're making that movie, and how many times we'll talk about this later. How many times have been another franchise has announced movies, and then they just vaporize. So
Yeah, well, that's stupid. That is stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. I would like to see that. I like all those people.
Yeah, me too.
I think I like Glenn Powell. I don't know. He seems annoying. I feel like this guy just came out of nowhere, and it's not true because I saw him. He was in
he's
like
been around for a while.
He's
He's
been
just
around.
like-
a while.
yeah.
I just saw a movie he was in. I'm like, wow, that movie's like 15 years ago, and
You know
he
what it
was
is?
in
It
it.
seems like since Top Gun 2, he's been in
Yeah.
everything.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
But prior to that, he was acting, and he just was kind of not on the radar screen.
Yeah, true. I just watched Top Gun 2 again. It happened to be on. I like that movie.
I watched the last 20 minutes of Top Gun 2 from 3 rows back on some other guy's TV screen on the
Oh,
airplane.
really?
On the airplane home from my vacation, I finished my movie and I'm like, oh, that guy's watching the end, and it was the whole like final flight battle and everything. I'm like, I
It's
just
really
watched it
they
from
did a
couple
good,
of-
really good job with that.
Yeah, it was really good.
I was happy with that. Anyway, here's something that's not fiction but fact. So Artemis 2, the next moon around the moon mission, is scheduled to launch hopefully next month, and they just rolled it out to the launch complex in Florida, which I thought was very exciting.
Totally. I mean, I've been hearing bits and pieces of it, but
It's really getting into the mainstream now because once they started rolling it out. Now, it's funny. I had been following it off and on, but now that, it's launching, hopefully. If there's a window, the earliest launch window is February 5th to the 11th. I did order my patch, and I have some other stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
T-shirt. And so it's funny. It made me thinking because made me think. I remember. I don't know if it was the last time I was there. I was there another time, but in 2011, I went to Kennedy Space Center, and when I was there, it was February, and the third to last shuttle was on the launch pad. On those launch pads, I'll actually drop a photo in the chat. And I remember on the on the tour, they're like, here's complex, 39. We will, unfortunately, there's 3 more launches, and then we're going to dismantle the whole thing. So the famous launch complex 39, which is the launch pads 39A and 39B, is where all the Apollo missions and a ton of other stuff took off. And they were telling us, like, yeah, we're dismantling it because there's no more shuttles. There was something, a potential moon thing called Constellation that was canceled. And I was like, this is like the end of space travel. And now here we are, 14 years later, 15 years later, and is it 15? Yeah, right? 15. Wow, that seems like a long time.
But I mean, it's also a facility has a lifespan, and when you think about it, the years that they got out of that from the Apollo program through, it's like it's.
But they were thinking of just decommissioning it and even selling off the land, I think,
Really?
which is like, yeah, that's what they were saying. And
Condos,
now,
building condos.
all the talk of that at that point was about, the basically privatizing space. So
well, that's what saved it. SpaceX came in and revamped it. So now we have Artemis 2 launching from 39A, where I think Apollo 10 did. But it's heartwarming to me that they did not dismantle that historic place, and the next 4 people going to the moon, or at least going around the moon, are going to be launched from there. So that's very exciting. So I'm excited for that.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I want the problem. If I would love to be there for the launch, but they just don't know when it is. So you could literally like, oh, it's the 7th. I'm going down, and then they cancel it. So it's really tricky. It's really tricky. So when we went on a cruise that left out of Orlando, but we did a pre-cruise tour of Kennedy Space Center, and then we were wondering if we were going to be able to see the launch from the cruise, which we were too far away, unfortunately. But have you guys ever seen an actual launch?
No.
Like, at least
I was
adjacent?
supposed to, but I did not. No.
Yeah, every time I was there, it was never the right timing.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, even if you plan a trip around it, so often these things get pushed out. So
yeah. But it is amazing seeing it on the launch pad, and it's just massive, and it's pretty awesome. So I'm looking forward to that. Any more random? We know we've said we're only supposed to do one each.
I thought we had a new agreement that we were only doing one topic.
We do. I just want to make sure.
I'm gonna throw a quick one out for reaction. That's all.
The guy who said we should only have one each, just for the record. But go ahead.
Callum Turner.
No way.
No?
As Bond? No.
I hadn't even heard that.
His ears alone.
He is book Bond. I'm telling you. He is.
Well, it's funny. They did just say that they think it's going to be very, very Fleming-like.
He is a Fleming Bond.
I don't like him.
He's not model handsome, and that's what Bond described. Fleming described him as looking like a young Hoagie Carmichael. Okay, in the book. Okay, it was just not a. Like I said, and a spy shouldn't be someone who gets that much attention.
Yeah, but we're used to James Bond. So I'll tell you this.
I'm just looking at a picture of him, a couple pictures of him. I could see it.
He was in that Masters of Air.
Yeah.
But he should not be Bond, and he should not be getting Dua Lipa.
Okay.
Because
I knew there was a reason that you were. Yeah.
No, I just don't think either one of those things.
So.
Isn't that who he's engaged to? That won't last.
Yeah, I could see it. I can. So, anyways,
I'm hoping for
I owe you one now.
Tobey Maguire. No, not Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire.
Not Tobey Maguire. The other Tom Holland. We need
He's not tall enough.
Very young, short Bond.
No.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know who I like.
No.
We should figure out who we actually would want. Do you have someone you'd want, Todd?
I think he'd be great. I really do.
Okay, but before you heard that, you had someone else in mind?
I didn't have anybody in my mind, and that's why I'm saying I could picture this guy being a Bond. He's got that rough edge to him. He's wiring. He's got the. I think he could. I think he could do this. He's actually the name that of those mentioned, the person I like the best, because we need a different Bond. And
what about? I thought Elizabeth Hurley was going to be.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want it to be a woman, and you know
Elizabeth Hurley. She's
No, I'm kidding.
okay. Yeah, I got to be honest. I've fallen so far away from Bond. Like I never even finished the last series of movies.
No.
So it would be nice to have like a brand new thing to just like.
But they
jump
were
back
good.
into.
You missed. I don't know which is the last one you saw.
I didn't see Quantum of Solace.
All right, that one's not the best one.
I didn't
but you
see-
saw Casino Royale.
I saw Casino Royale. Yeah.
The next three were Todd, right? Really
Very
good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Skyfall.
Good.
Skyfall.
What was the other one?
No Time to Die.
No Time to Die. Very good.
Well,
wasn't
they're
there
out
another
there
one?
if I ever want to watch them. But yeah,
Title of spoiler. Okay. Just say.
I know he dies. I know. We already have had this conversation.
They're going to plenty of time to die. Just at the end.
At the end, kind of like almost like what happened in Mission Impossible, except there was no time to die there. So
No, Tom Cruise doesn't die.
he almost died.
Paramount, those scumbags at Paramount, are like, we may need to squeeze this rock a little more, some more blood out of it.
Okay.
The last two didn't do the kind of numbers they wanted them to do, so I don't know.
Okay. Can you think of a Tom Cruise film where he's died?
Yes, Live, Die, Repeat. He died many times.
Other than that,
But always came back.
he's alive at the end. I cannot.
But wait, how many leading stars of a movie die in the movie? Almost,
Daniel
except
Craig.
for Thelma, who? Okay,
Daniel Craig.
But other than that,
I'm telling
most
you, it happens. And
did Tom Hanks ever die in a movie? Yes, he did.
he did.
Yeah, Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
And they also that Otto or whatever. Okay.
Yep.
He died in Otto. Hey, they killed Han Solo in a movie.
They killed Han Solo. It's
They also killed Luke Skywalker. Don't get me started.
absolutely-
Don't
I'm
even.
telling you.
Don't
That's what I'm
even.
saying. I think it's unusual for this many roles. There's got to be one out there.
Maybe there is. Computer. Has Tom Cruise ever died in a movie? Yeah. What else? She said Edge of Tomorrow. That doesn't count. You know who does count? Fanboy Collectibles.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lots of stuff. 1/12 scale He-Man and Skeletor, which you don't see too much of. Like more realistic, I mean, for a cartoony thing looking, but those are cool. Sideshow, This Island Earth, That Mutant Alien, which that's like going old school, which I think is awesome.
Metaluna Mutant, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
is very
premium
cool.
format, too. That's a big boy.
Yeah, exactly. There's an Ash, Evil Dead from that Azimuth Toys, who makes those little Frodo people you like, right? There's tons of pops, including from The Last of Us. I don't know. They have a Joel. I'd like to have the Joel after he's been beaten to death. I wonder if they're going to make that pop. But
That should be a new series. We could have
spoiler.
like Walking Dead people after they've been beaten to death by Negan, and then Joel.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Hot Toys Bad Batch Stormtrooper Barry.
that's a pretty cool looking figure, I have to admit.
Yes,
But
he is. Yeah.
there's plenty of stuff. Everything you need. It's the new year. Got to start off the new year right by buying stuff. So check those guys out, fanboycollectibles.com. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut, and tell them the regular Joe sent you.
Meanwhile,
Thank you,
back
Troy.
at the Tom Cruise mortality report, Taps, Collateral, Valkyrie, and technically he was dead in Interview with a Vampire.
Oh, yeah, Taps. I forgot. Taps.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, he was messed up in that.
Yeah.
He got killed with a machine gun.
Yep.
So there you go.
He didn't die in Born on the 4th of July, though. Just, got pretty messed up, but he didn't
I
die.
hate that. I like Tom Cruise. I hate that movie, and I hate Oliver Stone. Oliver Stone's all about like rubbing your raw and trying to shove a message down your throat. He's a piece of shit, in my opinion.
Get those
Anyway.
get those on
I-
Dave's list.
I didn't know Oliver Stone was on the Dave
He's
list.
on the
I'm
Dave list.
sitting there thinking, wow, have we ever hit this before? Yep.
I don't know that. I don't talk about him because his movies are
You
irrelevant.
hate him so
but
much.
I don't know. I worked a few days on Born on the 4th of July, and I'm like, oh, I want to see this Tom Cruise, but well, that movie's horrible. I know it's about a real guy, but just the message. All his movies are like that. He sucks. He's on the list. He could be above Tim Burton because I don't think I like any Oliver Stone movies.
Wow. All right, at some point in 2026, I think we should revisit the list.
Dave's list.
Yes.
I think it's time.
Boy, did we actually do a segment on that?
I don't know, but I think it's time for us to go back
I think
into...
I think it's an episode. I think it's who's still on Dave's list and why.
Who was on the list?
It would also be good to revisit who has fallen off Dave's list. You know, kind of like
probably took
like
Maggie
presidential
Gyllenhaal
pardons. You know,
off.
kind of like pardons. You know, it's like yeah, but Maggie Gyllenhaal,
This is
I
like
took
going
her
down
off
into
because
the well
I
of
was
souls
wrongly
with all the snakes.
The what?
This is like the well of souls with all the snakes and everything. Like Dave's list is like a snake pit. This is going to be
You
fun.
never know. Okay, we'll do that. Watch out, Brett Ratner. You're still a piece of shit. No?
okay.
Who's debating? We're just laughing
Tom,
because you're making us laugh.
and it's not only because of that third X-Men movie.
Well,
Anyway,
no, I think it's because of other things that he did in his personal life.
but let me tell you something. That movie didn't help him. That
No.
movie's awful.
No.
Right, Todd?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's abomination. So
It is. Could it be the worst movie, or are those last couple worse than those?
oh, it's still worse than. Put it this way: they took the greatest X-Men story ever and turned it into a steaming pile of shit.
There you
Okay,
go.
and then they remade it, and they still managed to make it crap. Okay,
They kind of remade it when they did.
that's what I'm saying.
last
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
What was that one
That's
called?
what I'm saying, and they still made it crap, but it's not as bad. It's
That
not
was like
as bad.
Rise of the
You know-
Phoenix
You
or
know why?
something?
I'll say this: the reason it's not as bad is you didn't have two previous films to get invested in those characters before they totally destroyed them.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Cyclops. Yeah, he's just dead.
And Apocalypse was bad, but it had Olivia Munn in that purple outfit, so that made
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Apocalypse is bad, but that last
bad.
one, yeah, bad, all bad.
Yeah.
Okay, you know it's not. Well, we don't know if it's bad. We'll see. Starfleet Academy.
So this is something that's been kicking around for a while. I think this iteration has always been set in the far future because I think they soft piloted it with the Tilly stuff in the episode of Discovery towards the end there, where she had the cadets and doing whatever.
And which I have to say, I was fully expecting because of that for her to be in these first two episodes, and I was like, she wasn't there.
Yeah, it's
We
interesting.
had 2 Tilly-free episodes, and that I count as probably a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing as far as I'm concerned.
She'll show up at some point.
Yeah.
It's yeah. So
I
what do you guys? Let's just
How do you want to do this?
I've enjoyed it. I don't know. I was expecting something worse. There is the elements of all these beautiful young people.
It could have been Star Trek: The Acolyte. Okay.
Yeah,
Where,
or not even that. I mean, it
No,
could have been
but I'm
like
saying it's just they totally cast
Melrose
all these
Place.
good-looking
I was
people
going to
that
say
can
it's like
act.
Star Trek 90210.
yeah, Star
Right,
Trek
no, but I'm
902.
saying-
But
no, but they worked out stories for them and stuff. But
exactly, there are stories, and the nice thing is, as much as there's a lot of them, obviously it centers on one guy. Boy, there's spoilers. You feel like you know something about all the characters. You know how many shows or movies don't do that well.
and
We
that's-
already got bits and
They
pieces
did a
of
good
a lot
job
of
with
people.
that, and I really like that they had this one woman in like 4 other scenes. She had like lines 3 other times, and then they made a bit about him not even knowing what her name was. Okay, which I thought was cool because this guy's so self-absorbed. You know, he's been in 4 scenes with this woman, and he's got no idea what her name is. Nor did the rest of us. But it's just
Well,
I
and
don't know
we're
what
gonna be
name
jumping all
anyone's
over the
name
place,
is.
But I after watching the second episode, it hit me that there's almost like 2 casts going here. There's the crew of the ship, which when they're docked at the school, I'm not quite sure what the crew of the ship's jobs are. But then
they're
there's also
all-
the kids, and it's like, so there's like an adult layer to this, and then the younger.
Yeah.
students.
Well, the
I don't know that
officers
we're
and
going to
the-
see the crew of that ship again. I don't know that those people who were bring the ship in for the first time, I don't know if those are going to be regular cast members because we haven't seen them. I assume
Can we
those
talk
people were
about
gonna
that
be in it.
ship then? Because I'll be honest,
You know,
one of the things I
I assumed when I first saw them that this was going to be the navigation instructor, and this was going to be all those people that they showed in the ship. I think those people were just to get it there, and because you obviously couldn't put students in those chairs. I think every time they take the ship out, just like in Wrath of Khan, it's going to be cadets and whatnot in the chairs.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I
But I also
don't
just
think so.
the ship itself. I don't understand, and maybe we'll see as it goes on. I don't understand the concept of it starts out as a starship and then it breaks apart and lands and it's part of the school. It seems so. It's not the most efficient way. Like when you need to take a ship somewhere to have half the school take off and go
But
on a mission,
I
and then
thought-
it's not there at the school. Like I just don't understand.
I think it made sense for a couple of reasons. One, they're showing that they're in the 32nd century or whatever it is. So it's easier to take a freaking building and make it into a spaceship. But I think this show it could suffer from only being in San Francisco or only being on a ship.
Yes.
So
Yep.
it's
But they
interesting
can
that they're like,
transport
guess
very
what?
easily between the school and the ship. They don't have to have the
Right, but I
entire
also think-
school
I think
take
the
off and go
ship
into
is-
space.
The ship is both a ship and a simulator. Okay?
Yeah.
So they're going to be learning on this ship how to crew a ship. And then it's going to go from to practical. And I think that makes sense. I also don't think the ship is the entirety of the school. I think it's just
Yeah, I
the
don't
middle.
think so
No, it's not the
It's a
entirety of the
functioning
school. I don't know.
It's-
Like I said,
but it's
maybe
where
it'll
her-
make more sense as the show goes on. But
Yeah.
that was one thing I
Unless
tripped
it
over.
turns into the saucer separation that we never saw.
Again. Yeah,
Again.
no,
Right.
It's got to take off at some point. Those little angel wings are still floating around in space waiting for it to come back.
I think that's a good idea because it's like, I'm sure in the writer's room is like, okay, if we stay here, we've got no place to, do other stories. And if we're all out,
Well, that
why
was
not
the
have
Deep
both?
Space
And-
Nine dilemma, right? And that's why they came up with the Delta Flyer. Like, I
Defiant.
get it.
Yeah, no, the Defiant.
Oh, the Defiant,
Which, if you look at the new opening scene, the little pre-credit thing
Yeah.
on that show, they show all the ships. They do not show the Deep Space Nine. They show the Defiant.
So the ships. I like that new 60th anniversary.
I do,
little
too.
I
animation,
do
I think.
too.
The
I did
one
too.
thing it's missing, though, the Cerrito should have been in there.
Cerrito should have been in there. Okay, so we're getting way off track. Okay, but I will say this, or I'm going way off track. I love all of the elements of all the other Trek that they've worked into this show, and they're very, very subtle in some ways. The Boothby Park, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the Boothby
that was
Memorial
great.
Park was great. Having the rock creature from Prodigy,
Yeah.
the one of her race walk by, was terrific. The fact that Captain Tendi is on the wall of honor behind them, okay, is great. I
Oh, I
all
didn't
the-
see that.
Oh, that
Yeah,
wall
well, you
of
gotta,
honor. I
The
paused.
world,
Go
ahead.
I
oh,
froze.
they're in the future. I'm confused.
Yeah, I
like
froze,
where
and I
shit
read,
takes place.
and I kept advancing frame by frame, and I'm reading the names on the walls.
Oh, there's tons of
Those-
names on
all
there.
characters. Okay, Captain
Yeah.
Montgomery Scott's there. Everybody's there, but the only one from Lower Decks that I've seen so far is Captain Tendi.
Oh,
And it
no.
was
I
like,
saw Carol Freeman and I saw Beckett Mariner on the wall.
yeah, I have not yet. So
Tawny Newsom's a co-producer on this.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I noticed
which
that
is
too.
interesting.
So like I said, I like that. I like and again, this is they're on one hand clean slating it because they've got this whole runway ahead of them that they can use, but they're also respectful of the past and to bring these other elements in. I think Peanut Hamper, which I guess is now Almond Basket.
Yeah, the exocomp. I noticed that too.
Exocomp is funny seeing that. I was prepared to dislike this. Okay, I wouldn't say I had super low expectations, but I was prepared to dislike this, and I think I like it. Okay, I think I like the second episode much more than the first, but I understand what they had to do in the first
the
episode.
first one. I thought they
Yeah,
jam packed a lot in there.
It's first episode. Star Trek first episodes are tough. Okay, and I think they had they had a heavy lifting because they had to introduce like 64 characters.
And they did a good job with it. You not only did you
I will
give
say that.
people
They do a good job.
backstories, you knew the Chancellor, you got the bad guy, the kid, the girl with the eyebrows, the photonic chick. They did a good job of that, which is never easy.
And here's something else that I'll say what they did a good job with. Like I had said to Maria, this is supposedly a jumping on point. So do you want to, because she doesn't watch Star Trek, like, do you want to watch it with me? She's like, I'll try it. And they did that VO at the very beginning of the first episode, explain the burn in very high level. So you don't have to have watched four seasons of Discovery or whatever it is to understand. And I think that was a really smart move, because I don't think anybody should feel like coming to this, like, if I didn't watch Discovery and Strange New Worlds, I don't know what the hell is going on.
I don't think they say that enough. And I think also, I think it also makes sense why it's this time. And I've thought for the longest time they need to pick up after Picard and build a new Starfleet and all this. But we also know from Picard that even at that point, the Federation is on decline. Starfleet is on decline, at least. Okay. And they kind of like the next 800 years are not good for them. So this is a rallying point. This is a point when they can move forward, and I like how they're doing it. I love the way they brought Beta Z back in. I thought that made perfect sense. Karen watched it with me, and she has not seen a lot of Star Trek, and other than the recent stuff that we've watched, and she was saying, like, why are they holding these negotiations in front of all these kids? And I'm like, they are Beta Z. Everything is in the open. That is their whole thing. It's about openness and transparency, whatever. It's why they get married naked. It's that is their culture. Everything happens in front of an audience. And because it's literally impossible to have secrets in that society. But like I said, I thought that was good. And I thought those, again, I did not have this is not Star Trek feeling that I had with much of the later years of Discovery watching this. I felt like this was tied in a meaningful way and moving forward in a meaningful way.
And the characters were way more three-dimensional than I thought they'd be, especially only 2 episodes in. I mean, they do throw that dude in a sleeveless shirt more than he needs to be, with him flexing his muscles. But
a CW teen drama feel to elements of it.
But it's also about young people, okay? And there's a number of old people in here too. But I will say that guy has one other acting credit, and it's a short film. Okay, that's all he's done.
He's
Caleb,
almost carrying a series.
I was gonna say he's doing a hell of a job.
Yeah.
So I gotta think this guy's like done stage acting or done something like that, because he's doing a really, really good job. And I also say, I think particularly the second episode, I think the writing is really good. I think the scene where he first meets the Beta Z woman, and that conversation that they're having, and it's like I just think, like I said, it was just really well. When she said you were literally on a fence, when she's talking about, and it's like, and he's running purely on anger. It all felt like the characters felt like who the characters should be, given what they're.
As long as, if he's still that guy in episode 6 with the anger and I want to stay, they can't drag. There's got to be relatively quick growth, because that will get old fast.
But you see some of that by the end. I mean, the fact that the 2 guys are cooperating, making the bed, doing the Stanley McCraven thing.
Oh yeah, that was a little.
I know. I think that it's like that's they're buying in, and that's the.
But they've got to get this guy to grow. I mean, some of these characters, they're the same thing that they were in episode 1. They cannot do that with this.
No, and I don't think they will. Again, I find the holographic woman already annoys the shit out of me.
She's
yeah.
she's the new Tilly.
She is a new Tilly.
But
And the
I
problem
also
with that is she can't die. So
There's
what are
also-
we going to do?
there's also huge potential to grow and evolve and become, like, but yeah, she's like the comic
Well,
relief.
she's already asking. Everyone says I'm annoying. Like,
Right.
all right, so change
And
yourself.
but they know that they're owning that, and it's good to have that character.
And it's so far anyway, it's not as heavy-handedly emotional as not emotional in a let's all get along kumbaya nonsense the way
It's
the
not-
way
I
Discovery
agree.
was.
No,
them
I agree.
wearing their feelings on their sleeves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
but there's conflict between not like all humans are beautiful. Even the computer, and we all got to get along. No, everyone's calling people dicks and stuff.
Yeah.
That's fine.
so what do you think of Holly Hunter's character?
She's okay.
Not loving
I mean,
her yet.
I like her. Okay, I think it's put it this way: we've had exposure to Atlantanite before. Okay, so we know they're quirky, offbeat people. I
so
think
she's the
does-
same as Carol Kane. Is that what's
yeah,
going
same
on?
as
Yeah.
Carol Kane.
Yeah.
I'm watching this thinking, wow, it would be so much better if she'd been the engineer on Strange New
Yeah.
World, because she plays that quirky character really, really well, and she kind of owns it. Where the other one's just very over
It's
the top all the
is
time.
like a cartoon version of.
That's
of
what I'm
it.
saying. But she's like the barefoot, all this kind of stuff like this. It's like she is who she is, but she's also got that 1,000 years of history to her, and plus potentially.
No. 470.
425. She's 425.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
They said something like that. Yeah.
So she's right. It's pre-burn. It's not. Yes, that's she's got pre-burn history. She's been to Beta Z. She's all the kind of, right. I keep thinking the burn was much earlier. So
I like how she interacts with the kid because there's more serious moments. I'm like, in the first 10 minutes, you got your feet on the chair. Like, let's give that a couple episodes.
again, though, I think it's also who she is,
If
and I
you've
think
been in and out of captain's chairs for hundreds of years, you're just going to want to be comfortable. Like, I got that.
And also, I mean, hey, good. The woman at that age to be that wiry, good on her.
But Todd, did you catch the chair adjustment?
Oh yeah,
That is a throwback to Enterprise. Remember when he
was
did not
great,
sit in
though.
his
yeah,
he didn't want to sit in his chair because it was too uncomfortable and it was an inch too high.
yeah. But it just adjusted for her. I thought that was terrific. I think that works. I guess there's been a lot of pushback about the Jem'Hadar Klingon woman.
I actually kind of like her.
I kind of like
Oh,
her.
I do too. But apparently, I mean, Jem'Hadar are all male. Okay, so they're saying that it's all these fanboys are saying that it can't be possible for there to be a Jem'Hadar female.
Get out of your parents' basement
That's
at some
what
point,
I
please.
say.
My comment
Okay.
about the crew of the ship versus the school. Like, she was number one when they were in flight, but now she's like the drill instructor at the school. Like, I'm not quite sure.
But
what her
no,
role
she's always was the cadet master.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's but I think
That
that's
ties
also,
the
they were
ship to being
assuming they were-
educational.
based
Yeah.
on rank. They were assuming roles on that ship, and
I also
like
do
her.
like how they say that they're just reestablishing Starfleet Academy, but the War College has been ongoing this whole time.
also makes sense.
Yeah.
Because Earth went into a purely defensive mode, and pulled back the way these other planets did, and now they're now
I like how they're going to probably be pitting those two classes against each other in certain ways.
there's going to be conflict there because
Yeah.
one is the old order, one is the new order, or the rising order.
Well, especially now that the Betazoid girl went to the War College, there's going to
Yeah,
be
that's
a
a
lot of
little weird.
interaction. with
Yeah.
them.
Did you, when they were walking it, I think at the end when they were walking into the rooms, did you spot the Kelpian walk by? I thought that was great.
No, I didn't even see
Saru's
that.
race. Oh yeah, had the Saru walk with the hands. kind
Oh,
of
really? I didn't see
and it was-
that.
Yeah, right in the when they go in the room, the making the bed thing, as he's going into his room before he sees that he's got a third roommate, a Kelpian walk. They didn't make a big deal of it at all, and I love stuff like that.
There's a
where he just kinda
lot of
walks by.
background characters. There's a girl who looks like what you think Tindy would look like with a little bit longer hair.
Yeah, yep.
She's in a science uniform with the Orion green skin.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just
But
gonna
there's a
throw
lot
this
of different
out.
races.
Flying robots are the new lens flares. There were freaking robots floating around everywhere. It was annoying.
It does make sense, though, when you think about it. You get this huge facility, okay? And in a society like this, something has got to maintain it, okay? Including the thing cleaning the windows.
I know,
including
No one's ever done
everywhere
that.
they
and-
went, they were in the way.
But they pointed out how it constantly will move out of your way, so you don't have to think about them.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
But even Star Trek TOS should have robots like that. But this is the
there
first
should
show
be
that really
menial
uses
tasks
them.
to be done by robots. And I also think we've spent more time now on Earth than we've ever spent, okay? So things are different. It's
No, I get all that. I guess for me, it was similar complaints that people had with the prequel Star Wars movies, that it felt like George had to fill every inch of every frame. It
I
really
agree
felt
with
to me
that,
like
yeah.
they were just filling space.
But it's funny. It's if you've seen that movie Passengers with Jennifer Lawrence, there's little robots doing all kinds of stuff, and that we're 50 years away from that.
Yeah.
You're never going to have to vacuum.
Yeah,
You're never going to.
Exactly.
Here's
Those are
going to
the
be the
Roombas.
problem.
Those are 30th century Roombas.
Yeah. The problem's going to be if it turns into Discovery and it's like, these robots all have feelings and we need to, they're going to start a whole thing about these robots. No, the robots clean the freaking windows.
I have no problem
shut
with
up
them
and do
being
your job.
robots. It's just that they felt like they were too many. The screen was packed with them.
I agree. They did a lot of it. It is one of those just because we can, do we have to? But it's also like expansive shots. I mean, they really are giving you a sense of this place.
Well, they
that's a
built
set.
That set, and it's the
that
largest,
is a massive.
I know that's what I'm
supposedly
saying.
the
It's
largest
just like
set ever
we've
built
got to
on
justify
Starfleet.
paying for this thing, so we got to show this. But I like the James Kirk Pavilion. Okay, the where the negotiations were actually the Uhura assembly area. And then they have this entire section named after a made-up guy that no one has ever heard of.
Yeah.
And they make multiple references to this made-up guy who no one knows who he is. and the guy, they made a joke of it. The cadet had no idea who he was. But that's not an actual character.
I was going to look that up, but I was getting
no,
that.
I did
It
look
seemed
up.
like
It's
an
not
inside
an actual
joke.
character in anything. And Gideon Turner is not an actual Star Trek character, but it also gives you that it'd be a little silly if you've heard of every single significant character.
True.
It would be over the top if we knew who everybody was.
Every single person is. So this is
That's a good
somebody
point, yeah.
who somewhere along the line was a Christopher Pike or was a whatever, Jeffrey or Jonathan Archer, and so it's kind of cool in that sense. They're thinking in that way, and I love the Jet Reno scene in the classroom. I thought that was terrific, where she really takes him right down.
Yeah.
And it was really, really well done. I'm glad to see her in there. I think that she works. I can't think of anybody else that I really feel I want to see from the previous show.
Except for Tilly.
If you cycled those people through as like guest instructors and stuff like that, and had Stamets and things like that, it could work. But the reality is, most of these people, their knowledge is 1,000 years out of date. So really, only they've got his recent experience. So I hope we don't see too much of that.
I think Stamets' name was on the wall.
It was on the wall. Yeah.
Then
Does that mean those people are all
doesn't
dead?
that mean they're dead?
I don't know if that means
No,
that.
I don't think so. I think
They
that's
were.
like-
They were there. I mean, they were all in Starfleet Academy at one
yeah,
point.
think of it like Medal of Honor winner kind of things. Where you can.
Most of them
be
are dead.
recipient And,
I
most of them are
guess I
dead
was
from-
thinking of it as more of a memorial than anything, but maybe not.
Yeah, no, I think it's like the Wall of Fame kind of thing.
Do you think Robert Picardo said the only way he would do this if he's got to sing opera? Because it's like, dude,
It was too
what's going on?
much for me. His I get it. I get the Doctor character, but they could have dialed him down just a little bit.
But he wouldn't be the Doctor if they did. Okay,
But they could have.
Okay,
I do like the idea of the doctors and stuff are holograms, and they could do stuff quickly and all that stuff. That's not a bad idea.
At least some of them. There was a clever thing with the opera. Okay, the Marriage of Figaro is a courtship, and there's a rejection, and then so the opera basically followed the path of the
negotiation.
With negotiation. Okay, like the rejection scene was actually happening at the point negotiations broke down. So the woman, the opera singer, who's actually an opera singer, her race was seen in one of the
JJ ones?
JJ movies. Yeah, that's the only time we've seen that race.
Yeah.
So, again, like I said, detail-wise, they're doing a really good job with it. Now they just got to tell some stories. And I also think
we got to get out of the I'm angry, I have to leave. They got to dig into some stories.
But I also feel like if you've spent the time that you spent establishing these characters, we got to see something with the Klingon guy, who I like. We've got to see
His
something.
voice
with,
is too deep, by the way.
It changed from first episode to second.
Him.
Yeah, okay. I agree with that. In the second episode,
the woman Genesis, I think she could be interesting.
I think she's interesting. Yeah, I mean, not only because
she
she's
did
cute.
a lot of running for when I guess technically
they told her to
couldn't
run.
use transport. They couldn't use transporters.
Yeah.
My question is why the Doctor just didn't materialize where she needed to run to, but that's fine.
Something was down. Maybe I thought something was down.
The Doctor got to them though, and that's why I was saying it maybe they could have just said, "Oh, I can't do that because the system's down." But like I said, I like her character. I think there's a lot of potential there, and I think.
So I got a question for you with the Betazoid teenage girl.
Yeah,
you're sending her off to the War College for the day, and you basically send her there half naked. Didn't make any sense to me.
No, I think she only wore that at night.
I
don't think she wore that.
I have no issue with anything she wore. I'm just going to say.
She actually did look a little like a young Marina Sirtis.
She really, I said that, I had to show Karen a picture, but I said they captured the eyes, kind of the basic facial shape. They did the hair, they played with the hair. So they gave you all these visual cues because not every Beta Z has looked like her, but they wanted you to make that connection. Yeah. And
what was with the dude sign language and then he talked at the end? I didn't understand what that was about.
I think he's supposed to be deaf.
I think he is deaf, and I think he can speak, but he
just saved that for a handful of things.
He's deaf. He signs. He uses that thing, but I think it was he wanted to say it in his own voice.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was something.
It would be impossible to carry on negotiations in, but he. And I also, did you guys predict they were going to move the? I thought that when they made a point of mentioning that it was going to be rebuilt in Paris, I said what they should do is put it on Beta.
Oh, well, of course, that's the only reason they said it.
Then they justify having all the ships there and all the other stuff that they're asking. Most of what they're asking for, I thought that was, but it's also a good reason to get off planet. Okay, if that's where the Federation is going to be headquartered, you got to leave Earth occasionally, and.
So here's my biggest complaint.
Okay.
In Let That Be Your Last Battlefield, the Charon's hair was brown, regardless of the fact that half their face was white and half their face was black.
Yep.
But the female Charon cadet, her hair was also half black and half white.
But that's her style. That's how they're wearing it these days.
Her expressing herself, Barry. You were less bothered by that than the fact that there were two males who were the last survivors of that race, and now we have a woman?
She looked like a black and white cookie.
It's true.
She did. But again, I thought that was cool. It's like there should not be any more Charons out there.
There was someone Is that the same? We only saw one of them because I remember in the first episode I didn't really pick up on the hair the first time.
Yeah. The hair
Yeah,
was split.
How
right
is there? How is there? Wait, they all died down on that planet too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There was only 2 left, and they were both male. So some people had to get off planet. Clearly,
But they were chasing. Remember the running and the running and the running?
I don't know.
Maybe they found a way. So nature finds a way.
They were living on
finds a way, yeah.
whatever, something Cirrus 17 or something.
They very clearly established that there's going to be a love triangle here too, which is kind of like the CW element of the show.
Or it's just like
Between who and who?
Between Genesis, Caleb, and the Bajoran, not Bajoran, the
Betazoid.
yeah, Betazoid girl.
Yeah, well, no, I think
When
that
he
was more
walked
like
off with her,
oh,
that the Genesis look on her face was
Oh,
very
the 2
disappointing.
girls and the one guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I also, I gotta say, I also like I liked her, the Betazoid's character. I liked when she was saying, "I want that guy." He's like, he's doing something
awkward
stupid
in a fun way though. Like
Yes. Oh, yeah.
definitely
Absolutely.
an awkward.
And again, this is somebody, and they conveyed
She's never
this
been
well.
off the planet.
Yeah,
Both her and her brother have never met anyone who's not Betazoid.
right.
Okay, so there's going to there's a lot of potential there. That works. What other problems did you have, Barry?
No, honestly, I kind of liked it. I really didn't have that many. I mean, I'm not even kidding. The flying robots to me were distracting, but
Okay.
I liked it. I'm hoping it doesn't veer too much into Twilight and CW territory. I know it will, but I just hope it doesn't go too far.
Unless it's the Vampire Diaries, then it's okay.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be some of that, but I also feel like there's enough.
They already established enough meat behind some of these characters. Certainly
Yeah.
the dude,
Yep.
the Genesis girl. She's a smart ass. I think she's interesting. I hope she's not like a background character.
She was flirty,
I don't know.
which
No,
I kind of
I
like.
think
She's smart, but flirty.
If you look at the promo images and the casting things and stuff like that, I don't think it's just because of her height. She's out front in everything, and I think she's going to be a major character. I also
She
really
reminds me
hope-
of the character from the Orville,
The super strong
Kinda does.
woman?
security
Kinda
officer
does.
from
Yeah.
the Orville. Yeah,
But I think we're going to see them rotating characters. I think we're going to see. I think they need to. I'm not looking forward to the Hollow Girls episode, but
Ugh.
or the
I think
Fish
we're gonna
Boys
rotate.
episodes.
Can't they just flip the switch on her?
somebody's going to figure out how to do that.
That doesn't even make sense. Whatever.
Again, it's
Volcanic people.
yeah.
Did you guys know that Tatiana Maslany was in this in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't know that.
They announced
I
it along-
remember hearing that a year ago, and then we saw her.
I
yeah.
totally forgot that. Then. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I love Paul Giamatti. He was so over the top in that first episode. I hope they use him better.
But that's not a bad thing to be this sort of flamboyant bad guy, as opposed to just this purely evil bad
What
guy.
I will say about that, there's an awful lot of characters already that are half one race and half another. Like he's half
but
Klingon, and
all
this one's
people
half
had to-
this, and
Barry, I will defend that. I'll say basically
31 years in the
everybody was
future,
stuck-
31
You were stuck on the planet you were on when the burn happened, and there was nothing to do but screw.
no, I get that, but it's also to me it felt like a little bit of a cop out for bringing character traits into a character. Oh well, they're half Klingon, so that's why they're like that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
I didn't think he was that. I didn't really see him as over the top. I thought he was fun,
I thought he was
I
good.
felt like the only Trek he'd seen was Wrath of Khan.
but he's a big Star Trek fan.
It's like
I know
Harry
that- no,
Mudd
I know
too.
that
There's
now.
a little
I'm
Harry
saying
Mudd
when-
in him.
When I watched it, I kind of. The other thing is half Klingon, half Tellarite. He looked. Yeah. Anyways,
I mean, half Jem'Hadar, half Klingon works for that drill sergeant.
it does for that. I also did like though that he was a lot stronger than he looked
Yeah.
because
That was
both
funny.
Tellarites and Klingons are a lot stronger than human. There's some violence in this show.
Yeah.
I mean, this we saw, I would say we saw more violence in the early in this show than we've seen in that fight in the shuttlecraft and stuff like that. Then I think we've seen a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
you know,
I'm encouraged.
I just wonder.
You know, Stephen Colbert is the voice, the
he's-
announcement voice.
He's the announcer. He's the mezzanine kind of an
PA
announcer.
announcer, yeah.
Yeah,
The
they call him the digital something or other.
yeah, yeah.
I just wonder if this show isn't doomed just based on with the sale of Paramount. Like, are they going to put support behind this, or are they going to want to?
Second season's in production right now.
Okay.
So it's so we're going to get 2 seasons of this. So I was thinking about it. Okay, there are 972 episodes of Star Trek. Okay, as of this week. So I was thinking, what is the 1,000th episode of Star Trek going to be? And it's going to be the show. So even if we get
How many
It's gonna
of
be
this?
Well, we're probably
this
only
is
going to get 10
weekly, so
episodes, right?
there's 8 more episodes of this, which get us to 980. Then so we're 20 episodes away from the 1,000th episode, which is incredible. Okay, and there's only 15 more episodes of Strange New World. So unless we get 2 seasons of this, before we
Are
get
you counting animated shows too in that?
yes, oh yeah, no, that is everything that's feature length. That includes Prodigy. That includes Lower Decks. That includes everything that's
wait,
not a
wait,
short.
where are we right now? What's the number we're at right now?
972, which, like I said, we're going to get to. This show will take us to 980. Okay.
And then there's 20. Then season 2 of this, and the next 2 seasons, there's 25. So one of those will be the 1,000th
That's
episode.
what I'm saying. So I wonder how that's going to work. And
do they care? Is the thing. I hope.
Yeah,
they do.
somebody somewhere's got to figure that out. I mean that's when you think
What if
about
it's
it.
like this? They need to have it be like some time traveling crossover across everything, except for Discovery.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, put it this way: the Trials and Tribulations was a landmark episode, and that was timing for 50th, whatever anniversary, not 50th. It was timing for something.
Could have been 40th.
I think it might
Yeah,
have
it could have
been
been
40.
40th or 30th, even that far back. It was 30th. It was 30th. That was in the 90s. So, they've got to do something. But like I said, think about that. 907. That's just insane. That's insane. I mean, and the only thing that's close is like Law and Order, which is probably 20,000 episodes. But
Yeah, probably.
it's amazing. I will say, like I said, I went into this with high hopes but lower expectations, and I think this is better than I anticipated. So I'm encouraged, and I know it's getting slammed. People are coming up with new reasons.
Are
to
they?
hate it.
I don't even read any of this
Yeah,
nonsense.
I'm paying very little attention to all of that because it's just noise.
It's yeah, and it
All right,
really
well, let us know what you think. We know one of our listeners likes Tilly, so we don't know where that comes from, but
yeah,
I don't care.
and we'll see her at some point.
We'll see.
So.
So that's Star Trek. Okay, I think we have a last thought. Barry, since it's your supposed realm, what's your last thought?
Well, I just didn't think we could let an episode go by after the news broke officially that Kathleen Kennedy, not that she will be stepping down, but she has actually stepped down as the president of Lucasfilm. And I think it's good news that Dave Filoni is now the chief creative officer and president, and he's got a co-president named Lynwen Brennan,
Yep.
who I
handle
had to
the
look
business.
up, but apparently she joined Lucasfilm in 1999. She went on to be the president of ILM before she assumed her
Wow.
current role in 2015, where she's currently overseeing all business for Lucasfilm. So I think it makes sense. You've got your creative person,
Creative
Dave
guy
Filoni,
and a
you've got
business-
your business person,
Like DC with James Gunn and that other guy, Peter Safran.
and you know, I mean, who better right now than Dave Filoni? He learned at George's feet, and for the most part, he's done great things. I mean, I think
if you want to look at that as a positive,
I do actually.
Okay, so if you look at this era, okay, her era, really. If you look at her era, okay, his name is on almost everything that's very good. Okay, I mean, it's really just Andor and Rogue One are really the only truly great things that his name's not on.
But when you even take it further back and you look at when Disney first acquired and when Kathleen Kennedy first took over, the first thing they did was minimize everything Dave Filoni worked on. Like they shut.
I know that. I
overnight.
Agree with the thing, but all the bright, really, other than Andor and Rogue One, I don't think there's a bright high point in this entire era, 15-year era, whatever it is, that his stamp isn't on.
No, I think that's fair. And you know, I've been pretty critical of the Ahsoka series, which was all him.
Yeah.
But that's the only misstep I've seen him make. So, and I didn't hate that show.
Ahsoka was horrible. Yeah.
No, it relied too much on what had happened in Rebels for the average viewer to just jump in and enjoy it.
Fair enough.
But other than that, I think that he's been really solid, and I think that even the movies that he didn't direct or the shows that he didn't showrun, he's been their go-to guy for, you know, like fact checking and making sure that it's in line with what Star Wars is. So he's the right guy to be their chief creative officer.
Oh, there's no question. And this was just really a matter of whether they were smart enough to do that or not, or whether he agreed to it. And
I mean, we talked about this happening more than a year ago.
Oh, I mean,
well over a year ago.
It's just interesting that they kept talking about a secession plan, and then when we finally get real news, it's not that she's going to be leaving at some date; that she's already gone.
Yeah, which is why I think the ink has been on this for a long time, and I think they gave this to him for a long time. What surprised me is that, you know, there's not a significant announcement with it, that this isn't like timed with The Last Starfighter, or this isn't timed with
I assume that this would come after Mando and Grogu.
And that's what I'm saying, that there's not something that, now we're on a high point and there's this.
Or how long has this been going on for? Like, is he very involved in Starfighter?
Because Mandalorian Grogu is going to be, that's going to be associated with him. And
well, they said that she's keeping her name on as executive producer for both Mandalorian and Grogu and Starfighter.
They hand those.
And
those are.
She's
but what I'm
saying
saying
is to producing. That's the transition she's making.
Right. Yes. But what I'm saying is it because they want him out front with that film?
Yeah, I think
they
so.
They want this film to be the starting point to move forward, and they're just
my guess is that he's going to really be the face of it. This Lin-Wen Brennan is going to be in the background doing the business.
Totally like DC,
just like DC. You're not going to see her, being interviewed at the premieres of movies. It's going to be him.
Yeah, I will say one thing I will say in her defense is, I think there are a lot of Star Wars people who were never happy with this being handed over to a woman, and I think there's a lot of people that never gave her a chance, but I think she made some very, very bad decisions, and I think one of them was philosophical, and it was leaning into the director's visions versus a cohesive house vision, and I think that was a mistake. I think,
not to mention announcing everything that
was
meaningless.
But what I'm saying is,
I totally agree with that.
She was
it
never
should have been
created to begin with. I mean, I
think the thought was, no one is George Lucas, and we need to try a whole bunch of other flavors and find something that's going to work for us going forward. And
no, it should be your hired guns, and this is the through line, and they totally dropped the ball.
She wasn't a creative, and she never ran a studio. So these are all
again,
both
and
new
listen,
roles for her.
She looked outside instead of looking within, and now they're looking within. So,
Well, and when you think about it, Filoni's been there for over 20 years.
yeah.
He's not like a new kid anymore at that company.
He was the cartoon. Now she looked at him as the cartoon guy.
Right, right.
Okay. And I mean, and we saw what they did with
And
this.
had
again,
Favreau never decided to work with Filoni on Mandalorian, he may never have gotten this shot.
yeah, no, I can't disagree with you. I can't. But also, so once again, we look at Jon Favreau and say, there's a dude who very
He knows what
quietly
he's doing.
built a universe.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Well, and
So
I'm
we'll
sure
see.
you guys read it. Go ahead.
whether 2 decades from now, people look back at Jon Favreau and recognize this is a guy who built Marvel, and this is a guy who got Star Wars back on the right path. So that is a incredible accomplishment for one person, particularly one person who does not put himself out in front and for the spotlight.
Right. Did you see the interview that Kathleen Kennedy did on the way out the door, and she gave updates on every potential project that we've ever heard of. She gave updates on Ryan Johnson. She gave updates on everything.
Oh yeah, no, there's
And
like a
she's
material.
still blaming toxic fan. I was like, just bow out gracefully, Kathleen. You don't have to
Yeah.
on the way out the door keep beating the same drum. Like,
Yeah, she said the one mistake she will acknowledge was putting Solo out too soon.
yep.
True.
And it was a mistake.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
and
That was that started a downward spiral.
yeah. No, it was a mistake, and
Unfortunately,
I don't
she
think
could
that was
acknowledge
wrong.
that one. There were others, so she only
Yeah,
wanted to
there were
acknowledge
plenty.
one.
There
That's
were many
okay.
others. Yeah. So
Bottom line is that it's a turning over of a new leaf over there, and hopefully,
and let's just hope, like I said, that that these people live up to their potential and do the amazing things that they've done up to this point. I hate the idea of Filoni being, getting all this extra weight put on him, and being pulled away from being the creative that he is. So we'll see. But I think
That's why he's got the other person.
he does. That's what I'm saying.
So-
But I also think I don't think there's a person alive who has a better sense of this universe than he does, and what works in this universe, and what they can do with it, so I take this as a very hopeful thing.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. We got to get out our Fire Kathleen Kennedy shirts. We're
That's right.
you can't wear them anymore.
No.
So
Yep.
anyway, alrighty.
Hey, it was nice to have a final thought that wasn't about somebody actually passing away.
Yeah,
It is
Passing-
it is the end of an era.
passing the
so-
torch.
Yep. Yes. Good way to put it. Yep.
There you go. And thanks for listening and watching.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for watching.